feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick mark still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah. Got a fist of pure emotion. Got a head of shattered dreams. Gotta leave it, and gotta leave it all behind. Whatever I said, whatever I didn't mean it. I just want you back for God. Want you back, want you back, want you. Hello, my wonderful viewers. This is Desmond Gray of Gallant Integrated Media. And the title of the episode of today is The Vital Questions We Don't Always Ask. Before I proceed, please, in case you've not subscribed to this channel, please help us do subscribe. Click the notification bell in case we drop a video or we are live on air. You'll be alerted. Like what we do, and as well drop your comment. All this will help us to propagate in what we do, and as well give you value for your time. So the episode, and why do I have to come up with this? Because of my rising concern on the reasons why there are so many poor people out there. So many people are suffering as if there is no opportunities. There are opportunities, but most people are not utilizing these opportunities, not even noticing or identifying with these opportunities. When you look at the world, it looks like there is this secrecy, or that a whole lot of things is being hidden in the world that most people are not seeing, or being hidden from so many people. You see? So before I proceed, I have two extrapolations to cite here. One of which is, and I quote, always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other. End of quote. And this is an extrapolation from Abraham Lincoln. And I quote again, nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. End of quote. And this is as espoused by Thomas Jefferson. You see, over the years, these great minds had this concern on why many people are not succeeding. And today, the concern has risen, that a whole lot of people, government, authority, organizations are worried why the world is heading to the way it is heading today, such that many people are poor. So a whole lot of thinking in my own little way. This is just a thinking coming from me. Why the vital questions we don't always ask. And this is part of what makes us not getting the answers we ought to get. You see, ab initio, from the time I started this program, I made this decision that I'm not going to cross that religious Rubicon. I see going religious as a Rubicon that I wouldn't want to cross. But today, I want to beg your pardon, please, to cross a little bit. Because I want to say, no matter as important as it is to go to church, you as a Christian need to have your personal reason for going to church. That reason could be the same reason everybody's going to church, but let it be your own reason. So when you go to church, you now focus on those your reasons. You now know why you are going to church, not just because everybody's going. If it is to save your soul, if it is to, like, for spiritual succor, for economic succor, or whatever it is, trust me, you need to have your own reason. Just as important as it is to work, to make money, you also need to have your reason for working. Some people work to pay bills. If you doubt me, you can personally conduct an opinion sampling. You discover that most people will be stunned and why you're asking them why should they work. Because they feel that you see the bills they need to pay. And some, because they've resigned their faith on paying bills. You see them paying bills, necessary bills, and even unnecessary bills. Bills that are avoidable and bills that make sense, and the one that does not make sense. So the world is really facing a whole lot of things that people, I'm not doing comparative analysis here. Because when I say people who take the right decisions or who ask the right questions, what they achieve, it looks like I'm comparing. I'm not doing comparative analysis, but I'm saying what I feel I should say, given the program I do. You see, have you ever had any reason to regret an action or a decision? Have you ever crossed your heart and say, had I known? Cry, had I known, in a bitter formula, in a way of bitterness, because of the magnitude of the mistake you feel you have made by that decision or by that action. Have you ever find yourself in that situation? If you have, you will now begin to realize that if actually you introspect your reason for doing those things, you discover that there were questions that you did not ask, which if you had asked those questions, you might not have done that or ended up in that regret. So these are the importance of questions. Is it important to ask questions? Yes. And the role of questions cannot be overemphasized in all what we do in life. We need these questions because these questions will give us the direct answer, the vital answers, which could now form our decisions for actions or for what we want to do, for what we want to decide. You see, some people, you look at some people and the decisions we take, it looks like our decisions are all orchestrated by public opinion or public sentiment. It is only when it goes to or it passes public endorsement that we could do it. Some people are so immune in following the crowd that wherever the crowd is, that's where you always find them. Whatever that is appealing to the crowd, whatever that is trending, that's what they do. They don't do their own thing. They don't have reason for doing anything. But it's very important and vital you ask these questions. Why am I doing this? Why should I do this? How will I do it? When will I do it? Where will I do it? And what do I stand to gain? What do I stand to achieve? What do I want to achieve doing this thing? These questions may look like a fairy tale, or this story or this episode may look like a fairy tale, but trust me, when you begin to look into it deeply, you discover that yes, there are mistakes you made because you never asked the right question. If you have been privileged to get closer to great minds, great characters, great men and women, you discover that there are things they don't do. You see, because you need to be introspective of your past and the interrogative of your present, so that before you do anything based on the analysis of yesterday, you could not be able to be in the right frame of mind to do the next one, because you are also interrogative of what you want to do. And these are all product of question asking. These are all what you can achieve by asking questions. Look at according to McLuhan, he said that technology has reduced the world to a global village. Because of the advent of technology, to him, which is true, that the world is now a global village, which has now, that same technology has given birth to the social media we celebrate and enjoy today. People go to this social media to make money. People go there to reconnect with the lost friend and family members. But the same social media, people go there to lose money. People go there to lose relationships, to lose businesses, to lose opportunities, to even lose their marriages that they've built over the years. Why? Because whatever that has advantage has a disadvantage. Behind every advantage, there is an equal disadvantage. So some people make most of the advantage, whereas some fall the victim of the disadvantage. And why? Because certain questions are not being asked. Circumstances are not being considered. Because you must take cognizance of your circumstance. For everything we give out there, the result comes to us according to our circumstance. So before you take your decisions, before you embark on your actions, ask the vital questions and let it all be in consonance with your circumstance, because the result is going to consider the circumstance. And there are many reasons, there are many examples of the role of circumstance to the results we get. So when we ask these questions will help us now navigate through to the question we produce the answer, who will now help us to navigate through. Watch, many people has done things that change the trajectory of their life because they ask the right question and they get the right answer, which aid them to what they do and lead them to the success they are celebrating today. Success is not picked on the street. Questions abound. And when you ask them, trust me, you discover that you are much more aware than before you asked the question, than you were before you asked the question. Life cannot give you what it gives to the next person. Two people can do one thing in the same way, the same speed, the same magnitude, the same condition, the same atmosphere, but they get different results. Why? Because they are of different circumstance. Have you found yourself in a situation where you are missing where you are going? You can't find where you are going. You're missing your destination. You can't find the address you're looking for, such that you have to rely on someone, or you have to rely on asking questions. Possibly you get someone who offers to direct you. You see, the way you follow this person with utmost focus, because to you, you are convinced that he knows where you are going to. That's the way you follow this man, convincingly and with utmost focus. There are people that follow the crowd with this focus, with this conviction that the crowd, as if the crowd knows where they are going to. They just follow the crowd. Whatever that is involved, that's what they do. Whatever that everybody is doing, that's what they do. Circumstance notwithstanding, way and manner, the approach notwithstanding, just because everybody is doing it, you see them doing it. When you ask questions, trust me, you find yourself in a situation where you don't do wrong. You don't be at the right place at the wrong time. Have you ever fallen a victim of circumstance? You are in a place where you're not supposed to be, and something happened. You see yourself facing situations that you wouldn't have imagined that you could face, all because you were there at the wrong time. Imagine if you had asked yourself, what am I doing here? Imagine if you have asked yourself, why should I be here by this time? Imagine if you have asked yourself, do I actually belong here? You will discover that you would have been there. You know that you have been exonerated from that situation. Have you ever seen someone who is scammed? Someone who is defrauded? You discover that everything that played out were all shrouded in secrecy, such that there were no room for them to ask questions. There were no room for this person to ask questions, because the people who are set to scam you knows the importance of asking questions, and they wouldn't give you any room to ask that question, because if you do, you would definitely gonna get exonerated from that scam. These are all the importance of asking questions. Oftentimes you just like you accompany people to their glory, just like you accompany people to their place of success, because you think you are doing the same thing with the same people, or not noticing that these people must have done their background checks, not understand that these people might have done some high level of research, background works and other things, and are doing what they're doing because of, let's say, they have a kind of assurance, when you don't even have that, because you never asked the right question, because you didn't ask the right question and wouldn't definitely get the right answer. There is health, there is success in asking questions. Trust me, there is. Whatever that has advantage has a disadvantage. So whatever you do, ask yourself the vital questions. You don't follow people to do what they're doing. Your circumstances and their own are not the same. Why should I do what Mr. A is doing? Mr. A has a small family than I have. Mr. A has one other thing that he does that gives him money, when I have only one thing that gives me money. So why would I follow Mr. A? These are questions that will stop you from living the life of Mr. A when you are Mr. B. So you can be able to live the life of Mr. B you are, and get the result that should accrue to Mr. B you are. I think this is the best place, or this will be the best place to leave it for today. Please do share, subscribe, and drop your comments, and we'll appreciate it if you do. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.